Well, good morning, viewers. Today we have a 2008 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD with the 6.6 Dirty Max. And it's here because the trailer brake control module has apparently failed. It has no communication with the rest of the network, or no communication with it. And somebody's installed a used one or supplied with a used one, and we're going to try to program it to the vehicle today. So I'm going to do a network scan first off. I see the used module on the console there. And do a network scan and see what codes it has to offer first before we get into this. So this is a new vehicle ID. It should auto ID. And we get to listen to my compressor run. 2009. Now I'm not sure if the original one is installed. According to the VIN, does not match. I'm sure it was a 2009. Let me look at the VIN number. So I stand corrected. It was a 2008. Got to learn to count. 10th character. Let's change the ID again. Chevrolet 2008. I'm sure this is a tuned diesel engine. I'll get the mileage later. Let's do a network code scan. I've got a clean battery charger on it. Why is it only 11.9 volts? While it's doing the network scan, I'm going to go check my battery charger. Had a bad ground connection. See the bottom voltage in the bottom right hand corner of the screen on the diagnostic port. Lost communication with trailer brake control module. Exhaust gas EGR is probably deleted. Outside temperature circuit, driver information switch, circuit component protection timeout. Probably a stuck switch. Driver seat assembly, horizontal position. And that's the end of the network code. Trailer brake solenoid, control solenoid circuit. So there is a trailer brake module in there now, because we've got trailer brake control solenoids, control circuit, manual trailer brake apply request signal, manual trailer brake apply request signal 2. Trailer brake control relay feedback circuit, high-speed communication enable circuit. These are all, well, that one's current. They're all current. Well, we got a recording of this network scan. We're going to install the used module, just plug it in, and then see what codes it sets. So we got the used module plugged into the harness. Boy, is this truck rusty underneath. Not going to try to clean up that module until I can see if it'll communicate. So we still have a lost comm with the trailer brake control module. That's history. Outside air temperature, driver information. Trailer brake control relay feedback circuit test not passed since DTC cleared. History. Let's do a code clear. Clear all codes read by code scan. Turn ignition on, engine off. We're sitting at 13.2 volts. My other laptop is giving me problems this morning. It's being very, very slow. Let's do a rescan now. History code, the communication code has gone out of the BCM. Outside air temperature sensor circuit problem in the HVAC. I didn't even check to see if that was the same number. The tag is so dirty on this thing. No codes in the trailer brake control module. Let's scan it one more time. According to the tag on the trailer brake control module, it's out of a 2007. Let's look at data. Trailer brake status disabled, trailer brake detected, no, trailer connected, no, trailer disconnected. TBCM diagnostic fault, yes. Yet it didn't show any codes. I want to plug in that trailer brake tester. Let's go back and see if there's any codes. Let me cycle the key. Current codes? No codes, yet it did say yes. I'm going to plug in that trailer brake simulator. This is what I'm going to plug into it. Electric trailer force meter with dynamic load simulating circuit and testing. It's worked okay. What's the model number? 9107A. It's worked okay, but I have had it on the newer ones like 14 and 15 not work properly, but I'm going to try it and see. So that didn't detect the ECU, and I got a message on the desk that says service trailer brake system, so we're going to check it for codes now. Trailer brake control relay feedback circuit symptom. Okay, I don't trust that brake force meter. I'm going to use a conventional headlight across the trailer brake circuit. So I got a trailer plug plugged in, and I've got a headlight wired to the blue wire and the white wire. The white wire is ground, the blue wire is trailer brake. And turn the key on. And I got a message that says service trailer brake system. And when I operate the gain switch, it says check trailer wiring. So we got to do conventional diagnostics on this thing. We got no configuration codes or option configuration codes, so got to check the ground integrity and the power integrity on the trailer brake. So I don't remember which feed stud is for the trailer brake and which one's auxiliary, but that's probably a problem. Just years of vibration. But we're going to check for power. This is an accessory wire somebody's wired in. These two studs should be live. They come from these two fuses, 40 and 50 amp. I don't think they're supposed to be 40 and 50 amps. 63, no, 58 and 63. 58 is stud 2 and 63 is stud 1. That's helpful, GM. Thank you very much. Well, let's figure out if this is the power feed wire to the trailer brake. So I soldered a new eyelet on there, and these two studs have power. So these two fuses are good. And I've turned the key on. And when I operate the trailer control, it says check trailer wiring. Now that's with the used controller. Let's see if we got any new codes. It doesn't light up the headlight either. I should really check my headlight and should qualify the ground on that. So let's clear the codes out of this thing. Key on, engine off. Display codes, current codes. Trailer brake control solenoid circuit. C1114. I should really call this customer because this is becoming more than just a programming event. I think I'm going to reconnect the original controller and see what happens. Then we're going to check the integrity of that ground. So with the headlight connected to the white wire, which is ground, and the red wire, which is auxiliary battery, it lights up the headlight. I'm going to take that feed stud off, the one I just fixed, to see if that headlight goes out. So with the headlight connected to the red wire, I took this stud out, this eyelet off the stud, the one that I fixed, and it did not go out. So that appears to be the electric brake controller feed. I could pull this fuse here and see if this fuse feeds this stud and this fuse feeds this stud. So this is the auxiliary feed stud. When I put this fuse back in, it lights up the headlight. So that was definitely the trailer brake feed wire, but we got to check, see if we got power down at the trailer brake control module. I'm going to plug the original one back in. Well, that trailer brake controller lives behind the left shock on the frame rail. It's not very convenient to get to. I've got it unplugged and I've got a headlight connected to the red, white wire and black wire, which are power and ground, and it lights a headlight. So now I'm going to jump those two wires over to the wires that go out to the trailer brake plug, because this thing is rusty. There's the wiring harness there. And the plug in there, and we'll get check continuity of the wires. This is rusty. So pin 15, which is at the other end of the row, pin 1 is on the ground, is ignition feed from a 15 amp fuse, and it lights a headlight. So that circuit is good too. But in the wiring diagram, it shows a trailer brake relay. And I don't see it. It's got to be in here somewhere, because the wires from this trailer brake control module go to a trailer brake relay. Maybe that's it there. I'm going to try and lift this up on the hoist. So this is a picture of the trailer brake control relay. That other module that's at the back is for the lights, I believe. So there are 6 pins. Let's look at the wiring diagram for this. So the relay is right in front of the trailer brake control module. Item number 2 is a trailer brake control module, and item number 3 is a trailer brake relay. I'm going to try and get this up on the hoist. So it appears that's the trailer brake control module relay right there. It's taped to the harness, or tie wrapped to the harness. I guess it's been replaced. Wires have been spliced in here. This is pretty. I'm going to cut some tie wraps and see what it looks like up here. So that's the trailer brake control relay. It's some kind of electronic relay. It has power from the same circuit as pin 32 on this one. The red wire comes from the same. It comes from feed stud 2. This one doesn't show which feed stud. But it's same. Well, we're going to check that power and this ground. Red with a black tracer and black. So these 2 big wires, and then the blue wire goes out to the trailer brake plug-in. So we'll check continuity of that wire. We'll load test that. We'll send power from there to there and see if we have, it'll light a headlight at least. So with the headlight connected across the red wire and the black wire at the relay, it lights that. So we're going to jump power from the red wire to the blue wire that goes to this plug back here and see if it lights a headlight. We've already checked the integrity of the ground on the trailer plug. So jumping the red wire to the blue wire at the plug sends power to the trailer plug-in, and I've got the headlight connected on the white and blue wires and it lights up. So let's see if there's a wake-up signal on this thing. That module looks like it's been replaced. It's not the original one. I don't know what brand it is. Looks like GM, but it's definitely been replaced. Now there are several other wires to this thing. You have to check continuity of those wires. So that looks like a feedback wire. And this goes out to the trailer connector, the blue wire, the dark blue wire. So I should have power on pin 29 now, because I've got that jumpered. And 29 is one of these pins in here. 31, 17, so I'll check that. Well, it's actually pin 28. It's a dark blue wire. It's the fourth in on the second row on the same line as pin 1, the ground, so it lights a 500 milliamp bulb. So that feedback circuit is okay. So we're just going to qualify these 3 wires to the controller. No easy way to qualify those without just using an ohm meter. We could load test them, see if they'll pass current. That's what I'll do. I've got the controller disconnected, so I'm going to jump power to pins C and see if it lights that headlight on pin, or this test light on pin 14. I can't see the numbers. I got to get stronger glasses. 14, 8, or 9, and got to look at the camera to see it. 33. 14, 9, and 33. So we'll check continuity of those wires. So all of those wires test good. I jump power from pin F at the relay to pin E, D, C, and A. B is ground. And it shows up, that's on pin 9 now, I think. Yes, pin 9. This middle pin, the light green wire is 9. And it lights up a 500 milliamp bulb just fine. So there's either this relay is defective, or we have 2 faulty trailer brake control modules. I'd lean more towards this relay being defective. I really need another one to try it. I got no way of qualifying it. I've tested the wires to it. I'm going to plug in the original one again. Original trailer brake control module and the trailer brake relay. So I got data communication with it, and the manual apply switch works. If you look at this recording that I had, you can see I was operating the manual switch, but it shows trailer brake relay status disabled, and it says trailer brake control yes, diagnostic fault yes. Yet when I go back into the diagnostic codes, and there's a message on the dash that says service trailer brake system, no active codes. That's strange. Well, I think I'm going to try a trailer brake relay, because I don't see why it's not functioning. We've qualified the wires to it. There's only 6 wires and they all qualify. And the wires, the blue wire to the trailer plug and the trailer ground is good. At least it runs a 5 amp headlight. Powers and grounds to the trailer brake control module are good. The wiring is not in very good shape up there, but it's testing okay. So I'm going to get a trailer brake relay and try it. So I just talked to the dealer. As far as I can tell, that trailer brake relay is a dealer part. It's 20904439, and it retails for like 200 bucks. They have one in stock, imagine that. So I'm getting it sent out, but I was looking at this code, this C1114. It does reset the code if I cycle the key. There's a TSB on it. It says some owners may comment if a service trailer brake message displayed in the DIC. And DTC 1112 and 1114 may set in the trailer brake control module that may occur with or without a trailer connected to the vehicle. Trailer brake relays that are completely functional. The trailer brake control module monitors the voltage of the electric brake wire, dark blue circuit 47, that runs from the trailer brake relay to the 7-pin trailer connector at the bumper. If the voltage on this wire is shorted lower or higher than the designed output voltage of the relay, the TBCM will set a DTC. It says updated TBCM calibrations have been released in TIS2Web to improve trailer brake control module diagnostics for high resistance short to voltage concern. Tech2 can be used to monitor the TBCM relay feedback signal parameter located under chassis trailer brake control module data display. Well, I've got that pulled up right now. And trailer brake relay feedback voltage is 0.06 volts. Command is trailer brake relay command. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Duty cycle 0. So a short to voltage on that plug, salt water in that 7-pole plug could cause this code. Interesting. I'm going to look at some other cases. So here's a case on Identifix. It says check the voltage on the dark blue wire used for trailer brakes. Expect 3.7 to 4.4 volts. If the voltage is too high or too low, check the circuits for shorts, water intrusion, corrosion. Disconnect the electric brake relay. Disconnect any trailer plug wiring that may have been added. If the voltage is too high, reflash the trailer brake control module. So I've got a headlight connected across that blue wire right now. I'm going to go back into the diagnostic suite, or into the scan tool information here, and I'm going to go disconnect that headlight, because that headlight would pull that voltage low. Let's go back here and disconnect that. Disconnecting now. Well, isn't that special? And the service trailer brake message just came up on the dash. 0.37. According to that tech tip, it says expect the voltage to be, check the voltage in a dark blue wire for the trailer brakes. So I guess we do with a voltmeter. 3.7 to 4.4 volts. Let's put a voltmeter on it. So the reading on the scan tool is 0.37. Let's have a look at what we got on the voltmeter connected right across the blue wire and white wire. .37. So that plug could be shorted internally. Ideally, we just disconnect this plug the 7-pole plug here and watch what happens to the voltage on the scan tool. Let's do that. So I disconnected the 7-pole plug at the bumper and it didn't change, but then I unplugged the trailer brake control relay and it went to 3.68 volts. So it doesn't look like the wiring is shorted to ground. I imagine this trailer brake control module outputs that voltage on that blue wire and it monitors it for being too low or too high. That's my take. Maybe I'll read the troublemaker chart and see if it explains it. Well, for C111400, the TBCM detects a short to ground, open, or a short to voltage on the solid-state relay output circuit. Let's see what it suggests. It doesn't really tell you how it works unless it's under description and operation, circuit testing. Let me read through this and summarize it. Well, you gotta like when you get the new part from the dealer and it's in an open package already. Oh, maybe it's still in a baggie inside the baggie. No, it's not. Well, this is the way I received it from the parts store. So we're going to put it in and hopefully it's functional. Doesn't look like it's been connected. Well, let's put it in and see what happens. So here's what happened when I plugged in the new module, or the new relay. It went from 3.7 volts down to 0.35 volts. Exactly the same as the other one, or very, very close to the other one. Oh, brother. So I come to realize that this thing has a fifth wheel trailer plug-in as well. That's in series in the circuit or in parallel in the circuit. So I unplugged this connector. I put the original brake relay back in and it didn't change, but if I unplug that it goes to the bias voltage. So I'm wondering if the wires are compromised somewhere up on top here. They've been repaired and taped up. So there's the voltage on the blue wire at the controller, or at the relay, 3.63 volts, and I plug the relay in and it goes to 0.37. I've disconnected this plug here, which I believe goes to the front harness, and then comes back to this plug here. I've disconnected that, but I don't get it. Why would it pull it to low when I plug in the so-called relay here? Because that wire is teed in right here. There's the blue wire going to the controller. That's putting the bias voltage. Damn, I wish they hadn't sent me a previously open package, so I can't trust it now. Damn. Got to think about this for a minute. So I plugged in that used trailer brake control module, and that one's acting the same way, but it's setting a different code, C1119, trailer brake control relay feedback circuit. Let's have a look at what causes that code. But I have the same voltage with the trailer brake relay plugged in, and it goes to 3.6 or 3.7 volts with it unplugged, and I've got the trailer wiring disconnected. So following the troublemaker chart for C1119, and it says to connect the test light between E and ground. Now I just use a 194 bulb and it doesn't illuminate. It says if it does, test the control circuit for a short to ground. Then it says if it's good with doesn't light a light, it says ignition on, test for 3.2 to 4.1 volts between the circuit terminals C and ground. C is well, they jump all over the place. C is the tan wire. Let's check that. Okay, so I got the voltmeter connected between terminal C and ground, and it says 3.2 to 4.1. I got 3.6. If the circuit test normal, replace the TBCM. So what is the possibility that the used TBCM that I have is defective and the original one is defective in slightly different ways, but similar? I hate this shit. So I decided that it wouldn't hurt to try to reprogram this thing. So we're reprogramming the original trailer brake control module to see if there's any updated software, because that TSB did mention an updated software for it. Looks like it's already got the most up to date. Doesn't mention any bulletins here. Operating system, start programming. Didn't mention anything about it being updated or reprogramming it to the original software. Well, we got nothing to lose. The way GM's service programming works is once you pay access to program a controller on the network, then you can program as many controllers as you want for 2 years on that VIN. So we're going to scan it again and see if it set any codes. So that made no difference. So much for that TSB. But like I said, it doesn't matter that the customer's got a new module coming, so we'll have to program it when it comes, and it won't cost anything additional to program it. It was worth a shot. So we got a new trailer brake control module from the dealer. Customer supplied it, and we're going to try to program it in there today. I don't know what it is with this software, but there's always some kind of drama. This is the third time I'm logging in now. To refresh, please log in, sign in again. And then of course it's got to send me an authentication code to my email address. It's just a pain in the ass. I just wish once it would go right. So I think we're finally connected. Reprogram, replace, and reprogram is what we want. I've already got the new module hanging on the harness. I've got a clean battery charger set at 13.6 volts. Trailer brake control module, there it is. Next, vehicle options. 3/4 ton. Next. So because I've already done this once, it should be okay. You don't have to buy a license to unlock it. Got the key on, of course. Next, start programming. Let's hope this fixes it. So far, so good. So that seems to be the end of the programming event. And let's clear DTCs. Because sometimes a programming event interrupts communication between modules and sets network codes and other modules. Now we could do that with the snap-on scan tool, but we're going to have to put this snap-on scanner back on this truck and recheck it for codes. So ask me if I'm a happy camper. So now we have a C1119 trailer brake control relay feedback circuit. We had other codes before. Let's see what it was before. I think it was a 14, C1114. So let's explore this code now. Let's try clearing it just in case it didn't clear. Clear codes. Key on, engine off. And you have to cycle the key for the code to generate. So I'm going to cycle the key. I'm going to climb up on the ladder here and turn the key on and off. Turning the key off. Wait for a couple seconds. Turn the key on. See if we get the message on the dash. Yeah, there's the service trailer brake message. C1119. Okay, well, let's start over again. So according to the Snap-on troubleshooter, the fault code C1119 sets whenever the key is on, the battery voltage is between 9.5 and 17. It's 13.3. The module is powered up and completes initialization. It detects a short to ground, open, or a short to voltage on the relay feedback circuit. The trailer brake control will be disabled for the remainder of the ignition cycle. Interesting. Well, it's similar to the other codes, but it's slightly different. Let's see what the troublemaker chart in GM suggests to do. So I'm looking at a couple of cases and identifics for this C1119, but 1112 and 1114 are all very similar codes. And basically the suggestions on these cases I've already done. I've tried a new trailer brake control relay. The one that's in there was replaced as well. I've tried to load test the wiring from the relay to the trailer brake control module. I've confirmed power and ground. I did fix one power wire at the feed stud, but that didn't fix it. I've load tested the wires with a headlight, so that should qualify them. This service trailer brake message code C1112, and I've only got the C119. Try connecting a different trailer. Well, it's not a trailer problem because I don't have a trailer connected. Check for involvement in recall. There's corrosion intrusion into the module, and although this module looks rusty, it doesn't appear to be corroded, and the used one was doing a similar thing. Check for corrosion in the trailer brake control module connector and harness. Well, I've unplugged the trailer brake plug, the 7-pole plug at the back. I'm going to do that one more time. Oh, brother. Let's look at the code setting criteria for C1119. Feedback signal terminal D, short to ground, open or high resistance, or short to voltage. In other words, they don't know what causes it. Could be any one of the things. Could disconnect the wire, could break the wire, could short the ground, should be an open or high resistance. Detects a short to ground, open, or short to voltage on the integrated trailer brake relay control active low circuit. How does it do that? Come on, GM, tell me how it does that. Detects an open in the battery positive voltage. circuit to the trailer brake control relay, detects an open in the ground circuit to the trailer brake control relay, detects a short to ground or open in the solid state relay enable circuit. Oh, brother. So, I've even tried the new relay in there. I put the original one back in. I've got a 6-wire universal Handtech jumper lead so I can test these probes. I've got a 30-foot extension wire going to the battery, power and ground back here to check voltage drops. I've got it on the black wire, which is ground, and the key on, and I got a voltage drop of 0 volts. 0.0 volts. So I'm going to check the rest of the wires. I'm going to check the power wire for a voltage drop now. So I've got it on the red wire, which is battery power from feed stud 2, I believe, and the positive jumper wire coming from the battery, and I got 0.01 volts, but I'm going to cycle the key. I got to move my step ladder. I just realized I had the key off all this time, so I'm going to go back and recheck that ground. I got it on a 30-second graph so I can see. It did spike up a little bit, but let's check the ground again. So from ground to ground with the key on 0.00. Now the circuit in question is pin D. That's setting the fault code. I wish GM would tell us how it tests the circuit. I've got the trailer brake, the trailer 7-pole plug connector disconnected, and the fifth wheel trailer harness isolated. So I'm going to check that pin D. So I'm on the light green wire now and battery negative post with my voltmeter. Key on, and it reads 0.37 volts, which is like the feedback voltage. I'm going to go up there and cycle the key off and back on again and see if it changes. Key off, key on. And let's go back down and have a look at what happened on the graphing multimeter. So it looks like it did some kind of self-test and hit 1.1 volts, and then it shut down the circuit or something. I've load tested those 4 wires between the trailer brake relay and the trailer brake control module with a headlight. I haven't checked for continuity between the wires. I wonder if I should put an ohmmeter between, disconnect the trailer brake control relay and disconnect the trailer brake control module and qualify the wires. Or just disconnect the trailer brake control module and I shouldn't have any voltage present on any of these 3 wires. Any of the 4 wires should just have voltage present on B is ground? Here it says pin B is ground. But yet on this schematic here, A is power, B is ground. Okay, let's revisit this. Well, I'm confused here. In this schematic, it says pin A is dark blue and B is black. A is trailer brake output, B is ground. It's like these wires are pinned wrong in the connector. I know one of the wires was fixed up here. How is that possible? That A is dark blue and A is this wire here. And in A I've got red. F is battery red, black. Okay, that's right. But A is in the wrong location. I'm going to check some other information sources. So here is the Mitchell version of this schematic. I tried to print it. I don't know why it didn't print. A is dark blue. That's not what I have in A. I have a ground in A. F is red. That's right. B is black. That's not what I have in B. I have yellow in B. Doesn't look like the wires have been tampered with. I know one wire was fixed, but it's like these wires are pinned incorrectly. I'm going to check another model year. So here's a picture of the connector on the trailer brake relay. These two wires are mixed up. Looking at this connector, you can see the dark blue is in pin B and black is in pin A. The rest of the wires are correct. So how did those two wires get crossed? According to that diagram, according to this diagram, Mitchell version of the diagram, focus. A is dark blue, B is black. And according to the actual schematic, B is ground, and A is power. No, A is dark blue. That's the trailer brake output. So we're going to depin those two terminals and switch them. Hopefully that didn't damage anything. So the black and blue wire were interchanged. I noticed the secondary lock was missing on this connector as well. So somebody did that. Let's hope that fixes it. Okay, so I'm going to check for current codes now. No current codes. Should be history though. No history codes. I guess maybe because I had power removed from the module. Let's turn the key on and see what happens. Turning on the key now. Are you kidding me? I'm going to operate the trailer brake control. No messages on the dash. So this thing has never worked. I gather this guy has just bought this recently. Rule number 1, ask questions. I didn't ask him if it ever worked and how long the problem has been present. I figured this was going to be a straightforward diagnostic, but obviously somebody threw a wrench into things. Let's plug in that trailer brake plug and use the circuit tester on it. So here's the electric brake force meter connected. Don't have any messages on the dash and no fault codes in this. But when I operate the trailer brake control, nothing happens. Let's cycle the key. It's not detecting the ECU. But I've had a problem with this on some of the GM vehicles, so I'm going to go back to old school headlight testing. So that might be why it wasn't working, because the gain is at 0. That's how do we adjust that? Arrows up, arrows down, plus, minus. Oh, here we go. So looking at my headlight back there on the floor, it works. So after all of that drama, what was throwing me off is that 3 different controllers would set 3 different fault codes, all very similar codes, but 3 different fault codes. And when I looked at the continuity of the wires, I went by the wire color, not the actual pin location in the connector. It wasn't until I started putting that 6-wire universal jumper in there that it started to click that the pins didn't correlate to the pin layout in the schematic. Oh well. I don't want to say how much time I have into this thing. Thought I'd try this one more time. And as you can see, with the gain set to something positive, it actually works. But there is an indicator on there that says ECU detected. This one right here, and I believe that's supposed to be on, but nothing beats old school headlights, in my opinion.